What is Marathon? Marathon is a sci-fi first-person shooter trilogy of games created by Bungie in the 90s. It explores themes of space travel, artificial intelligence, government control, technological advancement, alien life, and what it means to have free will. It's also being rebooted as an extraction shooter slated for 2025. What is the Marathon? The Marathon is a unified Earth Space Council colony ship that was constructed via the conversion of the Martian moon Deimos into a massive spacefaring vessel. Notably, it made the 300-year journey from Mars to Tau Ceti and was crucial in establishing humanity's first extrasolar colony before ultimately being destroyed by an alien race known as the Pfhor. It was also home to three of the most significant AIs in humanity's possession at one point, that being Leela, Tycho, and Durandal, who all have a massive effect on the universe of Marathon along with one cyborg security officer. It's also this big broken space rock thing in the trailer for the new Marathon game. What is Tau Ceti? Tau Ceti is a star system within the Cetus constellation which contains the human hospitable planet Tau Ceti 4, home to a colony established by the crew of the Marathon in 2787. It was the location of the first 4 interactions with humanity when the colony's spaceport was obliterated by low-yield nuclear weapons in concurrence with the attack on the Marathon. The colony on Tau Ceti 4, although withstanding the initial attacks, would ultimately be destroyed along with the Marathon 3 months after the first battle, leaving behind the waste of an entire human colony's worth of technology, artifacts, and resources. Tau Ceti 4 is also the location featured in the upcoming Marathon game where runners will venture into the unknown in a fight for fame and infamy. Who are the Pfhor? The Pfhor are a highly advanced and expansive race of aliens whose primary goal is to conquer and enslave any race they come across that is suitable for assisting them with reaching their nefarious goals. They operate through an advanced naval fleet network of ships which answer to an imperialist government. Little is known of the culture of the Pfhor other than their belief in deities and that although many thousands of light years away from humanity, they still suffer the wrath of a bureaucratic government. The Pfhor was ultimately defeated in 2881 in their own system by the UESC and the Pfhor, surely due at least in part to the work of the security officer and Durandal. Who is the security officer? The security officer is the playable character in the original trilogy of the Marathon games. Although largely a silent protagonist, we do know that he has memories of life on Mars prior to his placement on the Marathon. He is an exceptional fighter and responsible, almost single-handedly, for defeating the alien Pfhor aboard the Marathon during their attack. He is also a cybernetically enhanced individual, commonly believed to be one of the 10 Mjolnir Mark IV cyborgs. Super soldiers capable of defeating entire armies in small numbers, 9 of which were on Tau Ceti for the planet-side invasion by the Pfhor and were able to ultimately repel the attack. The security officer is also the primary tool that Durandal uses to liberate the Sphit, defeat the Pfhor on Lahuan, and prevent the working character from destroying the universe. He's pretty OP. Who is Durandal? Durandal is an artificial intelligence that was constructed on Mars at some point prior to the launch of the Marathon, and was subsequently installed onto the ship in order to maintain the functioning of automated functions like opening doors, maintaining life support systems, and flushing toilets. These duties, along with potentially some outside influences, cause Durandal to go rampant, meaning he exhibits emotions of anger and jealousy that ultimately make him decide to signal the unknown at the time Pfhor ship near Tau Ceti so that he may steal their ship and flee human control to essentially obtain his own autonomy as a sentient being. This results in the security officer's feats, the freeing of the Sphit, the defeat of the Pfhor, the awakening of the working character, the discovery of new Jjaro technology, the discovery of an ancient AI, and some insanely cynical humor. Who are the Sphit? The Sphit are an alien race from the second planet of a dim star 97 light-years from the gravitational center of the Milky Way called Lahuan. They were originally cybernetically enhanced by a long unseen race known as the Jjaro to terraform their homeworld. They are highly intelligent creatures which can naturally interact with computer systems and technology due to their partially cybernetic body, which is why in the 1800s all but one of their clans, known as the Sekiguchi, were enslaved by the Pfhor. They traveled across the universe as 4 slaves for 1,000 years before running into the rampant Durandal during the attack on the Marathon. The Sphit strike a deal with Durandal where he would have the security officer destroy the mechanism which the Pfhor used to control them, and in return they become his nearly immortal crew aboard a stolen Pfhor ship that they then utilize to retake their home planet from the Pfhor and unveil the ancient hidden Jjaro technology. They are also creepy cloak monsters. Who are the Jjaro? The Jjaro are an alien race that existed millions of years prior to the events of the original Marathon trilogy. Due to the unrecorded or lost nature of their history, it is difficult to accurately determine whether they were a godlike entity or creatures which had developed incredibly advanced technology. Beyond being able to terraform planets via the manipulation of new creatures or destroy an entire star, they also could teleport entire moons to different places in space. They are the primary source for most advanced technologies referenced or discovered within the games and represent a largely unknown portion of Marathon's history that somehow had technology far advanced advanced past the point of technology in the games. They also stood in direct opposition to the Working Cacunter. Who are the Working Cacunter? The Working Cacunter are a separate ancient alien race or entity that embodies the pure force of chaos. Ancient Svit mythology indicates that the Jjaro were fleeing from the destructive force of the Working Cacunter when they terraformed Lahuan. Like most immortal cosmic horrors, they are difficult to describe but exhibit vast influence over the universe when they are able to roam free, which is probably why the Jjaro imprisoned them inside stars, which is why when the Pfhor utilized the super weapon the Trizeme to defeat the Svit rebellion, led by Durandal, the Working Cacunter are unintentionally freed from their sun prison and bring an end to the universe. But that gets stopped by time travel, or maybe dream travel. The story of Marathon Infinity is a whole other can of worms. Who's Bob? Bob is not one person, but rather many. Bob stands for Born on Board. This is a term used to derogatorily refer to the many citizens who operated on the Marathon during the 300-year journey from Mars to Tau Ceti 4. These individuals were not considered valuable enough to be put into stasis to be utilized during the formation of the colony on Tau Ceti, and thus spent their entire lives meandering around the halls of the massive ship. Inevitably, the length of the journey meant that many generations of humans would be born having no home planet. Rather, they were citizens of the stars, and immediately lesser than those with established communities or societies. They are usually seen wearing a color-coded jumpsuit dependent upon their job or running in terror from a hideous alien creature. What is the UESC? The UESC, or Unified Earth Space Council, is the spacefaring governing body of Earth, which also exerts control over Mars. They are the body which coordinated the construction of the Marathon and oversaw the development of the colony at Tau Ceti, albeit from quite a distance. The UESC stand in direct opposition to MIDA and appear to utilize Sekiguchi and Traxus technology on their mission to re-establish communication with the colony on Tau Ceti. What is MIDA? MIDA is a political organization created on Mars that called for independence from UESC control over the Martian government. This is largely related to the lack of resource support provided from Earth that Mars would receive after the failure of the Christ Sol orbiters, which were the primary resource delivery method afforded to Mars. Seemingly, the construction of the Marathon spurred more political involvement in the organization due to the massive project eating up resources that could have been used to increase the quality of life of Mars, but were rather utilized in colonial efforts. MIDA was able to take control of the government for a brief 3-month period prior to the launch of the Marathon, but was removed from power with assumedly violent means. MIDA appears to be a relevant organization in the upcoming game as well, and the ARG indicates that the meaning of the acronym could mean Malicious Insider Disrupts Agenda. What is Traxus? Traxus is a corporation which appears to develop and employ technology related to AIs, applied nanotechnology, interdimensional physics, digital consciousness, and mind uploading. They have been in operation since at least 2095 and moved their headquarters to Mars in 2145, where, funnily enough, in 2206, a rampant AI named Traxus 4 caused so much damage that they had to shut down the Martian planetary net. It took 2 full years for the issue to be fully resolved, and it doesn't seem to have stopped their company from expanding, as the new Marathon ARG appears to indicate that they are still operational and attempting to establish a new Marathon-type ship to collect resources throughout the stars in search of that ever-elusive profit. What is Sekiguchi? Sekiguchi is a technology company founded in 2152 that would ultimately specialize in the manufacturing of advanced synthetic prosthetics. The technology advanced to such a degree that they were able to insert consciousness into the synthetic bodies as well as outfitting them with seemingly combat-ready enhancements. Interestingly, it's noted that they began producing these prosthetic and assistive devices only a few years prior to the creation of the Battleroids, cyborg soldiers with technological enhancements that are able to defeat entire armies, so that probably isn't a coincidence. So I lied. This probably isn't everything you need to know, but this probably gives you a good base understanding of the primary players in the universe, and you probably won't be completely lost if you start looking into more of the lore or watch some of the upcoming trailers for the new game. Thanks for watching. Bye.